back. Seems to be 5,000, right? 5,000 at least. And I guess the oldest culture they say is Egypt at 8,000.
埃及更古老一些，但是呢，文化没有断过流的，始终传承下来的只有中国。
So this is your original form, right? Yeah, it really is.
这就是原来的文化。
对，就我们这些人也是原来的人，黑头发、黄皮肤，传承下来的，我们叫龙的传人。
Red hair, yellow skin. We call ourselves the inheritance people going down from.
That's great.
So there you have that.
I've attended other committee hearings, and I sort of feel like the most important facts for us and the American people to understand are the facts that haven't been said today. And the reason why they haven't been said is that they are largely classified. And the reason that's important is that the American people have no idea, really no idea, about the immensity of the threat in space. And I've made this comment in a classified setting, that I wish the American people could be present in this room, not this room, but the SCIF, because our adversaries know what they are doing. We know what they are doing. They know we know what they are doing. But the American people have no idea. And so this discussion and debate will have very little interest in the American public. It's carried on in a level of, forgive me, bureaucratic language that most Americans would, I think they'd be pretty alarmed. This is not by way of criticism of you, because you're living with the strictures of what is classified and not. Matters why the threats there are real and urgent, why they are growing in importance. So I think we all agree here that space is an important domain. Undersea warfare is an important domain, but we don't have a separate command for it. Cyber is an important domain, as my colleague and friend, the late John McCain, used to say. And so I found very persuasive, Secretary Wilson, what you said in July of 2017. I know it's been quoted to you before this morning, and others of you, the reasons for your opposition to that separate domain, or the separate command for the space domain.
For space domain, eh?
I couldn't help at one point in my discussions privately with General Secretary Gorbachev, when you stop to think that we're all God's children, wherever we may live in the world, I couldn't help but say to him, just think how easy his task and mine might be in these meetings that we held if suddenly there was a threat to this world from some other species, from another planet, outside in the universe, we'd forget all the little local differences that we have between our countries, and we would find out once and for all that we really are all human beings here on this earth together. Well, I don't suppose we can wait for some alien race to come down and threaten us, but I think
they're
that
already here.
We can bring about that realization. In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we
would say China.
Now, what do you know about the dragon's race? Let me guess. If you were taking your info from mainstream sources or even alternative, most likely you'll know nothing. I'll tell you this. The Chinese and their ancient emperors claimed that they came to Earth from the sky and from the moon on iron dragons, spacecrafts. They are genetically created on the moon and are a hybrid race with reptilian DNA. That's why they call themselves the dragon race. There are links here. You can go. Chinese genocided the ancient whites on planet Earth. Chinese to genocide people in World War III. Anyways, Russians know what's coming. Instead of helping the dragon, you're helping the dragon. You become allies with the dragon in 2001 Shanghai Pact. The alien threat Ronald Reagan was talking about is already here for the past 13,500 years. Yahweh and his forces. Yahweh, who's the constructor of all religions and the cults on this planet, because it's all moon religions and all worship of Yahweh. And so all the leaders and the rich people are all under the catalepsy, demonic possession of Yahweh and their forces and transmissions of the moon. And people are getting more lunatic than ever right now. Now go to Raymond Drake. Drake spent many years digging through huge archives of material, looking in his case for supposed anomalies that could support his scenarios of space aliens impacting human history. As Drake himself said, I aspired to collect as many facts as possible from ancient literature to chronicle for the past what Charles Ford has so brilliantly done for the present century. Such as books as God and Spacemen. Ancient traditions will tell you on the days when our world had no moon. They'll tell you about a wandering planet back in 20,000 BC. Luna approached the Earth raising huge tidal waves, then receded to approach again. The threatened peoples turned to moon worship to propagate the moon. Or to worship the moon anyways. Finally, about 10,000 BC, Luna came too close and was caught in the Earth's gravity, drawing immense tides from north and south to engulf doomed Atlantis. The moon is an alien spaceship. Russian academics Vasin and Sherbakov official suspicions about an artificial moon. In the most famous book in China, The Art of War by Sun Tzu, is said, the best way to enslave humanity is not to make them aware that they are slaves. So we have a Trojan race that's manufactured on the moon in here to take over the world for Yowie. So we are now gearing up to World War III. And China is going to inherit the world by erasing all of us out. Right? First by dividing, causing civil war in our countries, BLM and all the other movements. It's just to destroy our countries within. Immigration is to destroy our countries, you know, to erase homogenous nations, because homogenous nations are peaceful nations and successful nations. So these gods are actually aliens, and that's what they are. They are aliens. So when Crowley says they've ousted overthrowing the old gods. Well, I'm sorry, the old gods are back. You may have seen a cylindrical shape in the news recently in the past year, and off and on. People saying it's just a big rock or whatever. These are our allies. The white race came from Andromeda. We're all aliens on this planet. These are our allies. These are our ancestors. They're stationed at Saturn. So the new gods, the Yowie forces, ousted the old gods, eh? Well, because we're on scientific mission here and all that. And so what Crowley means is ousting the old gods. But you know what? The old gods are back. The Aryan races will not wholesomely amalgamate with the Africans or the Asiatics, and that the cross of those races, like the cross of the dog and the fox, is not successful. It cannot be and never will be. For MacDonald, Canada was to be a country that restored to a pure Aryan race to its past glory, and the Chinese threaten this purity. Because that China is behind New World Order. Here is Eckhard Estergaard, who was head of the United Nations at one time. He's French-Chinese. Here he is with the dragon turtle. And I made already a video about Jesus, who he is. And so, here's the Chinese movie about Jesus. Grand musical. And that's probably what he really looked like. And we already had like threats, you know. Time for awakening. Lo, your country is dwindling. America's war tactics for tyranny and oppression are already exposed. Russia and China will dust your nation to rebels. Rebels. China owns America. Can't wait for the day that all Americans speak Mandarin. Revenge for the natives and Mexicans, original owners of America. Bullshit. Here we go with a better picture. Kiwi, the dragon turtle. Of course I support Israel. Do you know that the Jews eat Chinese food on Christmas? Because they find themselves more related to the Chinese than to the Christians or Europeans. China wants to establish gun control. Yes, North America needs gun control too, right? This is what happens with gun control. This is what the liberals want? Huh? They're everywhere. Pro-China, pro-communism.